incredibly. Hello and Assalamualaikum everyone. My name is SHAMIRA SHUHADA BINTI PADZI from class Bahasa Melayu 8 and Mathematic K3. My IC number is 030901 1104 and 08 and my index number is 2021 0823 40468. Today, I'll be talking about what I did for the assignment of MTES 3373 Arts and Recreation in Mathematics Education. For this assignment, we are instructed to create a digital educational tool that can be applied to students in regard to their mathematical knowledge development. After a lot of considerations, I decided to focus the aim for Year 1 students in Topic 2, which is Basic Operations. The learning outcome is, I will make sure all of my students or half of my students to understand and apply concepts in procedural skills in addition and also subtraction. After studying DSKP or Document Standard Curriculum and Pentaksiran for Mathematics Year 1, I decided to choose Learning Standard 2.2.2, which is add two numbers with the sum within 100, and 2.3.2, which is subtract two numbers within 100 to produce my video game. So, if you are wondering, how did the concept of this digital educational tool come about? Well, I don't know if you all have heard about it, but back then when I was younger, there was an incredibly popular mobile game at that time. So popular that almost all of my friends were playing it, including me, of course. The game name is Flappy Bird. Unfortunately, the original game is now unavailable due to some reasons. However, there are similar games that you can still play today, like ding or ning or ding or ding. So, what about this game? The digital tool that I created is actually inspired by this game. Yes, I actually created a game that can help students learn mathematics in a fun way. So, why did I choose this kind of game as my inspiration? Well, Flappy Bird, just like I said before this, and games like this are known for their simplicity and addictiveness. This can clearly be seen by how immensely popular Flappy Bird is during its peak. In fact, it is so addictive that the main reason the creator of the game removed it is because he felt guilty that people were getting too addicted to his games. And to be honest, I totally understand what he meant. This kind of game have this just one more try factor that keeps students engaged for a long time. And I want to harness that addictive quality for educational purposes. So, how does this game work? Just like in Flappy Bird, the student controls a character, in this case, a jet, and navigates it through a series of obstacles. However, instead of simply avoiding obstacles, the students encounter clouds with mathematical questions. For example, a cloud might contain the question 11 plus 13 equal to 24. Is the equation correct? Yes, it is correct. So, if the student successfully hits the cloud with the correct answer like this, they gain 1 point. But if they hit a cloud with an incorrect answer like 1 plus 4 equal to 10, the equation is wrong. So, if they hit the cloud with the incorrect answer, they will lose 1 health. Oops, sorry, I am too addicted to this game. So this kind of game actually maintains the fast pace just 1 one motor element that make my game and Flappy Bird addictive. Students are motivated to improve their mathematical skills in order to achieve higher scores and also progress through the games. As they play, they actually not only have fun but also reinforce their knowledge of addition and also subtraction of two-digit numbers. This innovative approach to learning mathematics makes it engaging and also interactive, catering to different learning styles. By combining education with the addictiveness of games like Flappy Bird, I actually really hope to make mathematics more enjoyable and also accessible for my students. My aim is to help them develop a positive attitude towards learning and also enhance their mathematical skills. I'm actually so excited to share more about the development and also to share about the development process and outcomes of this project and to receive any feedback or question that you might have.
Hello everyone, this is the game engine that I've used for this assignment. The name of this game engine is GDevelop 5. The reason why I chose this game engine is because it is quite beginner friendly. It doesn't require almost none of coding language, so you don't actually have to code anything, and almost anyone can build a game from scratch just by looking at the tutorials and videos, and also just by browsing through the game templates and see how most of the stuff works. Also, if you are very short on time and quite lazy, you can actually just create a game based on the template. There are some free type of game that has a template, and yeah, you can just use the template and just modify a little bit of the game, and then you can make a game of your own. Okay, but for my game, I made almost everything from scratch, from the background to the image, the button, yes, as you can see here. Okay, first, before I start to show you how I work on this game, I will give you a little bit of preview on how my games works. So that essentially what this game is like. It's like Flappy Bird, but with the slight twist where you have to hit the cloud with the correct answer only, so that you can obtain points. But if you hit the cloud with the wrong answer, you will lose your health. So basically how this game works. is first you create your scene. Your scene is practically the thing that appears on your screen at one particular period of time. Okay, so the scene each have its own property, which we call event. Event is essentially what the behavior of each item in this display is. So, for example, the button start. Okay, the button start. What I set things up when the button start is clicked is it will play a song. It will play a sound, then it will change the screen display, then it will change the scene to another scene, which is menu 2. And if I click the notes, it will sound, of course, change the screen and change the scene to menu 2. Alright, so that is essentially how the scene system works in this game. So what do I mean by multiple scene? Well, this is it. This is all the scene that is required to run this game. The scene is basically like a frame in a movie. Okay, so you can set things up so that you can transition between frames or screen to make it seem like to change the things that appear on the screen. Okay, so for example, this is menu 2. Menu 2 is when you get to the next section of the menu, which is what you want to choose, either level 1 or level 2. And then let's look at the menu 3. Menu 3 is for the notes, and the notes, the subtraction note, the addition note, and the levels. Okay, so yeah, as you can see here, each menu or each scene has its own event section. The event section is, as I explained before, it is about what each of the behavior of the buttons or the images will do. Okay, but for the game itself, that is slightly more complicated, because here we will assign a lot of behavior to do a lot of things. Okay, so for example, here to make the plane move, we should have a condition of it. If the left button was released, simulate passing jump in the tappy plane to jump again. And then to create the clouds that contain the questions, we should create an object of question 1 at position something something something, and then we wait 10 seconds, and then we create another question, and then we wait 10 seconds again, and then we create another question, and so on. So basically, all the things that happen in the game, you have to code. No. You don't actually have to code, but you have to assign a behavior with everything that can happen in a scene. So for example, if you want the plane to lose health every time it hits a wrong question or wrong cloud with wrong equation, then you should assign that behavior to the plane. For example, here in the obstacle, if the plane is in collision, which is the plane touches the cloud with the wrong question, you have to change the life by subtracting 1. Okay, so that's about it. And if you collide with another question that is wrong, you should subtract another 1. And how do we know that when the health or the life is 0? Okay, so we will simply assign what happened like this. Here, if the numbers of the scene variable life is 0, then pause the animation and change the state to game over. Okay, so after we change the state to game over, that's where the game over display shows. Okay, so basically, if you want to expand the game a lot of more and more, I just have to add more display and design each of them their respective behavior. And if you want to add scene, just simply click here at the scene. Here you can add more scene if you want to. Okay, so yeah, that is basically how I develop my game. So besides playing the game, I have also prepared a kind of note section for the players, and for the student that is a bit unclear about how to add and subtract in the first place, so that they wouldn't be playing without any kind of knowledge. Let me just preview it. Okay, this will be the note section. So to use here, just click it and then you can choose between addition and also subtraction. So if you choose addition, it will display the notes that correspond to addition. If you click further, it will just say additive of interaction about what addition means. For example, addition means summing up two or more numbers to get another number. For example, if we add 2 and 3, we get 5 as a result. This is a short example, and if you click more, then I give an example based on everyday real life situation so that they can relate better. And then lastly, I will display about what the thought process behind addition looks like. So this is the notes that I prepared for the students that are playing this game. But I also prepared a note for subtraction. So it's the same thing with addition. You click it and it goes to the next page. And I also give them a quick example. Also, I give them an example from a real life situation. For examples, apples in this case, and if you click it, and yeah, that's about it. 5 minus 3, that means just remove 3 numbers from the 5. So 5 minus 3 is equal to 2, and it's finished. Then they can choose to proceed with the level 2, which is the top, which is the level with minus. Okay, so this is the level 2. Back then it's level 1, which is addition, and level 2 is about subtraction. 27 minus 15, that's right. So we click it and we get 1 point. I changed the background a little bit so they won't be bored by the same background, and this is wrong, so you get 1 health loss. And then 42 minus 28, this is correct, so we get 1 point. So what about it? If you lose the health, you die, and if you get correct, you have 1 point. If you are wrong and you get health if you click it, and if you touch ground, you lose. Then after game over, you can choose between you want to restart, you want to go to the main menu, or you can submit your score. If you restart, it just restart the game back. Okay, so then you go back to the main menu and you can choose level 1 or level 2. Okay, so that's about it. For the preview, well, regarding on how I made the addition notes, well, I basically use a feature called layers. Layers is what we allow to be seen on a particular scene. This does not mean that this work is we want to show different things, but we don't want to show it yet. We don't have to create another new scene for that to be happen. We can just create a new layer. What this means is this layer can only be seen when we tell it to be active. For example, if you see in the events of my addition notes, if you can see the addition notes, I can choose to hide layer, and also I can choose to show layer. So basically, if I hide layer 4 and only show layer 1, this is only layer for page 1. So that's what it means by having layer. It just means that I can choose what to show and what not to show, so that I don't have to create a new scene. So this is what happens behind the scene. So basically I just create everything. It's assigned by the user in this case, which is me. And I think that's all about my game. Thank you.
Okay everyone, that is my idea on how we can apply digital tools in educating students about mathematics. However, there is still a lot to improve, but I am limited in terms of ability and also time. There are still a lot of features that I think would be more beneficial to the students playing it. For example, the note section. I think that it will be much more interesting if it is done interactively instead of a static display like I have in my game. That means that students can click around, like picking up the apple and putting it in the basket to perform addition, or throwing the apples away to perform subtraction. However, that kind of feature is still very hard for me to perform because I have almost no experience in using this game development app before. Another aspect that can be improved is the number of levels in each category. As we can see from the demonstration, there is only two levels for each category, one for addition and one for subtraction. Due to time constraints, this is the maximum number of levels that I can do. This means the question in each level will range in difficulty from lower number to higher numbers. In my opinion, I think that it will be better for the students if the learning curve was much more smoother. This can be done by splitting the category to more levels. For example, level 1 can focus on operation of digits lower than 10. Level 2 can focus on digits lower than 50. And level 3 can focus on digits lower than 100 and so on. That way, the students can familiarize themselves with smaller numbers first before going into bigger numbers. With this prototype has its limitation, it is the beginning of what could become a more comprehensive and effective educational tool. With much more effort and also time, these improvements can be realized, ultimately benefiting students in their math education journey. I think that's all for me. Thank you and bye-bye.